Oh, I'm in a boat again. How original. In case you haven't figured it out yet, this contest results show is a little late. This has been an incredibly hectic week, and I can already tell that I need to figure out a way to streamline the process to make sure these videos go up on Tuesday. But you didn't click this link to hear me make excuses. You want to see who won our Project Root contest. If you'll recall, I asked you to come up with an idea for a sequel to the Jungle Strike, Nuclear Strike series. You guys delivered. I mean that. We're getting to the point now where I actually have too many entries to read them all, which is not a bad problem to have. Anyway, here are the sequel ideas you came up with, followed by the winner. We start out with Retro Kaiser, who says, "My idea is for a game called We're on Strike. This game is all about helicopter pilots going on strike due to lack of pay. The only way to beat the game is by fulfilling all the pilots' needs, and the only way to do that is via microtransactions. You know, after wrestling with the helicopter controls in Grand Theft Auto 5, I'll take the mindless busy work any day." Up next we have Killer Claw, who I'm pretty sure is in that new Suicide Squad movie. Killer says, "The game would be called Deterrent Danger, a game where a young boy's father died at a young age. Little did he know why. His family exclaimed a car accident ended his life tragically, but young Jack was not amused, so he searched for answers, leaving home and everything in his past but one thing, the death of his father. Here's a glimpse at the story." Okay, let me just stop you right here. This is a really interesting story, and in a slower week I would probably read this whole thing. But I think you missed the point. Deterrent Danger doesn't end with strike, though Danger Strike does sound pretty badass. Let's move on. Up next we have Justin Moore, who says, "Urban, because it's my favorite level that I'm going to shoot the enemy and settle the score. But there's already Urban Strike. I'm confused." Christopher Hill says, "Space Strike, because everything is better and sexier in space." You're right. In space, no one can hear her scream, if you know what I'm saying, because she's in the throes of an orgasm. You got it. I didn't need to explain it. And this whole rambling thing is just making it worse. Hey, we should just move on. Next up, we have Well Tromaf, who says, "Super Strike. I like super things. They are better than other things. They're super. And other strike sounds really stupid. Super stupid. I've always been partial to things that are mega and ultra." Vamp V says, "The next installment would be a reboot simply titled Strike. It would take elements from all of the previous games in the series and combine them into a modern-day adventure full of war and political intrigue. The game will be a critical and commercial success, which will lead EA to develop numerous sequels and spin-offs that unfortunately decrease the quality of the series and eventually put it back into obscurity." Okay, but what would the sequels be called? Louis Hamlin says, "EA Strikes Back. Empire Strikes Back on the ice planet Hoth, fighting AT. That would be cool. Bring new players to the franchise. Happy May 4th. You know, a Star Wars themed strike game could actually work. At least it would have a story mode." Moving on to Jared Katz, who says, "I think they should make Arctic Strike, where the bad guys, perhaps Russian soldiers since they're in the area, make military stations on the mainland and battleships in the Arctic Sea. I believe it could be quite interesting, considering the Strike series hasn't really been in that area yet. Add an alien outbreak like The Thing, and I'd buy it on day one." Falling Through Space says, "You're a washed-up, battle-hardened attack chopper pilot. It's the not-so-distant future, and there's a zombie outbreak and alien invasion. It all went horribly wrong. There's alien zombies, and Earth is lost. You must now travel to the wasteland that is Earth. You stumble upon an abandoned space program, where you discover that they are looking for a brand new planet to call home. Using alien technology, abandoned by alien zombies, Your newfound friends manage to piece together a small team ready to save mankind. The team blasts into space and destroys the lingering alien mothership using a computer virus. The team then set off for a nearby black hole where they, okay. Like Killer Claw, you didn't name it. We're gonna move on. Keckler says, the next installment should be Rural Strike, where you fly a modified crop dusting plane. Most of your objective is to crop dust specific fields to protect from pests, but you also have additional weapons to take out other nuisances, like Confederate flag-toting redneck trucks and forest-dwelling moonshiners. Non-lethal attacks could be used against annoying bow and slingshot-wielding children in the fields trying to give you trouble. Some special night missions could include attempts by UFOs to steal cows as well, with the player trying to take out the UFOs, or at least defending the cows for a specific amount of time. Your crop-busting plane idea should meet up with Fall Through Space's Independence Day ripoff. Mason Lagasse says, I think the coolest idea for a new EA game would be in space, because these are such unexplored regions of the galaxy, and it would open up so many doors for fiction. With aliens and alien cruisers. You get the idea. It'd be so cool for a futuristic high-tech game like the one I'm thinking of. No snarky comeback. I would genuinely be on board with a Mars Strikes. It's even topical. Kind of. Mando Rodriguez says, Drone Strike. You'd be a kid controlling a drone around and harass people while having barbecues in their backyards. You eventually graduate to spying on enemy bases in a war and watching their barbecues. I know you're expecting me to say something here, but I'm too busy craving barbecue. And finally, at long last, the winner is Van Vactor, who says, they need to make Baseball Strike. In it, you pilot a ball around the World Series. The missions pop up as you're pitched towards home plate. Do you curve, sink, or just speed up? If you're a hit, do you soar to the wall, just barely clear the player's glove into a fan's, or do you make a line drive to first? EA could make it a yearly installment even. We know how much they love doing that. I'll admit, this game sounds boring, but you can't go wrong with the name Baseball Strike. It's almost worth EA resurrecting the franchise just so they can name it Baseball Strike. Good job. Wow, we got through all of that. Thank you so much for watching this whole thing and entering the contest. I'm sorry if you didn't win, but we'll be back on Saturday with yet another contest. We have a bunch of new reviews coming up, including Rogue Legacy on the Xbox One, which should be going up any minute now. See you next time, and don't forget to subscribe.